Okay, we're back to finish the last 6 questions that we left to the end because they take longer and they cost the same. So each question is a point. Let's go with 95. Okay, read the paragraph. Maya and Leah both take a multiple choice test. Score out of 25. Maya 16 percentage points higher than Leah, and Leah received 17 out of 20 out of 25. All right, 17 out of 25 is gonna be turned into percentage points. So I need 100% here. I need to find out what the score for Leah is right here because we have no calculator, we cannot do 17 times 100 divided by 25 maybe, but we can scale up. That means that I know I have to go times 4 to get to 100. So 17 times 4. 4 times 7, 28. 2 over. 4 times 1, 4, and 2, 6. So she scored 68%, right? This is percentage points. So at this 68, I need to, Maya will be 16 more, so it's higher. So I'm gonna say 68 higher is to add 8 plus 6 is 14, 4 and 1 over 1, 7, 8, 84. So Maya scores 84 percentage points. That's Leah. Maya is 84. My pencil is not working great. Forgive me. So we know that the trick here is to turn the points into percentages is to multiply times 4. So we have 20. So 20 times 4 is 80. Again, something's happening with my 21 times 4. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. So we need 21 points to reach 84%, which is 16 more than 68. So B is your answer. Remember, I erase fast. So when I say I'm going to erase, try to pause. You can always pause, rewind, replay. The next question is going to be question 100. And question 100, I don't have time to read it for you, but basically it boils down to this. All right. We have 7 days of the week, beginning with Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. I'm gonna use R for Thursday. That doesn't even look like an R. That's Thursday anyway. F for Friday, SA for Saturday. So let's see what we are. Okay. They never drive on the same day. They only have one car. Daryl takes the car on at least Wednesdays and Fridays. So I'm gonna say that Daryl and then we have Drew, and then we have Dave. All right, let me see if I can do something with this. That's good. So those are the 7 days of the week. And these are the three brothers. I put Daryl on top. I put Drew in the middle and Dave. All right. So if Daryl takes the car on at least Wednesdays and Fridays, this belongs to Daryl. And the other two cannot drive. There's gonna be a space here for Saturdays as well. Okay. What else do we know? Dave takes the car only on weekdays. So Dave does not drive. Dave does not drive on Saturdays or Sundays. All right. Nothing else is given. So does Drew drive the car on all weekend days? Maybe, maybe not, because when it says that Daryl takes the car on at least Wednesdays and Fridays, maybe Daryl drives Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. It doesn't say it's impossible. All right. Again, Daryl does not drive the car on Saturdays. We don't know that. Maybe he does drive on the Saturdays and Drew drives on Sundays, right? And so Dave does not drive more than 3 days per week. Maybe he drives one or twice, but no more than three. And this is the one that is true because we have one for Dave. That's Dave. We have 1, 2, and 3. He could only drive Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday at most. So C must be true, and C is your answer. Okay, great. Remember erasing. And I'm going to go to the next question, which is 108. If you look at your formulas, which I'm not going to have time to show you, the surface area first of all, should be in square feet, right? They made a mistake here, notice. So, surface area formula is, in the case of the problem, is 16 pi feet squared. 16 pi feet squared. All right. The surface area is formula equals surface area of the formula. All right, that's clear. So in the problem, we have 16 pi feet squared, right? And the formula reads 4 times pi times the radius squared times the units, or followed by the units, which would be that. But because I noticed that pi is at the end, I'm just gonna use the community property to bring this pi here after the radius square. So it's gonna read 4 times. I'm gonna skip pi because that goes to the end. I'm gonna do radius to the second power. Now I'm gonna do times pi, followed by feet squared, just like we have here. 16 is followed by pi feet squared. So that's gonna be equal to this formula. 4 radius squared pi feet squared. So that's just the last name. So what I need to work is with the 16. That's equal to 4 radius squared, divide by 4, and that's gonna give me 4. That's gonna give me the radius squared. Now I need to take the square root of 4, because if I take the square root of the radius squared, they cancel out. So my r is free, my radius is free, and this is the square root of 4. So the radius can be 2 or -2, but we don't use negative for distance, so it's gonna be 2. The radius is 2. So if that is the surface area for this sphere, its radius is equal to 2. So can we say that the radius is 4? No. Can we say that is the surface area as a sphere of a radius of 1? No, because it's 2. All right, so now we have to go to volume. Okay, the formula for volume using pi as the n is 4/3 radius to the third power, and then of course pi feet cubed, which we're not going to conserve. Pi feet, that's supposed to be an F, but you get it. Feet cubed is my Zoom versus my Promethean board. They're fighting. My apologies. So if I leave that aside and I know that my radius is 2, I can plug in this 2 right here, and the volume is equal to 4, 3 times 2 to the power of 3, exponents first. 2 to the power of 3 means I need to multiply the number 2 3 times. So it's 2 times 2, 4 times 2 is 8/3. That is, sorry, 8 is just the 2 squared. So I need the 4 times 8/3, or 32/3. Definitely 32 divided by 3. 3 times 9 is 27. 3 times 10 is 30. It's more than 10. So it's not going to be 4. So we can cancel that. That means the only answer is C. I would work out that this actually works, but I don't think I have time. Again, I would have to substitute that in there, but it's, as long as you can cancel 3, you're good. All right. So maybe there is time. Let's see what happened. Okay, so I have 4/3. That's the volume. So 4, forget pi, right? We're gonna forget pi. 4/3 of the radius cubed cubed 5 feet squared. Five feet cubed, sorry, volume is cubed. Then that's the formula. And they're telling me here that this is the same as 32/3 pi feet squared also. 5 feet cubed, I keep saying squared. Area squared, volume is cubed. So let me cancel that and let me cancel that. And I would get, let me cancel also the, let's multiply times 3. So I can, if I cancel that, the denominator on the left, I can cancel the denominator on the right. And I get that 32 is equal to 4 radius to the third power. Divide by 4. 32 divided by 4 is 8. So 8 is equal to the radius cubed. So what number cubed gives me 8? Right here. The number cubed is 2. 2 times 2, 4 times 2 is 8. That's what I had written here before. So, yeah, so it does match. So the radius has to be 2 for the volume to be this animal right here. So it's been demonstrated, but you wasted your time because we knew that the answer was C. Sorry, I wasted your time. But mathematically, it also makes sense if you want to go that route. But it's easier to eliminate sometimes. Remember, for a multiple choice test, your answers are here. So one of them is the answer. Let's try to find it by calculation or by eliminating the other 3. I'm going to erase. And my next question is 118. We're doing good with time. I hope that this test shows. There it is. Let me tell you, just when you want to do things right, okay. Let me see if I can increase the amount of font size. But it's not showing. Yes, we'll see. So let me continue. We have system of equations. Yeah, this is freezing. Okay, let me zoom. Or try to zoom. Okay, good. System of equations. Let's take the first 2. Notice that if I take the first 2, for the time being, let me see something. Yeah, for the time being, I'm just gonna do it right here to save time. I'm gonna take the first 2. All right. And notice that whenever you have a positive and a negative of the same, it turns into a 0. Great. So I'm going to combine like terms. I'm going to add or subtract this way. Combining like terms means add or subtract. So 5 and 2 positive, both x is 7x. That's 0. That's another 0. And 10 plus 11 is 21. Divide both by 7. And we get that x is equal to 3. That's great. Now, pause because I need to erase and continue. So take notes, pause, and do all that good stuff, replay. I need to erase in order to continue. So x is 3 is all I need to remember right now. So x is 3. So now I am going to plug this 3 in here. So let me write that as a 3. 2 times 3. In fact, let me go ahead and 2 times 3 is 6. So let me go ahead and start with a 6. That takes care of my 2 times 3 plus y plus z is equal to 11. Subtract 6 from the 11, and you get y plus z is, that should be a z. Y plus z is equal to 11 minus 6, which is 5. Y plus z. Y plus z is equal to 5. Okay. So I'm going to have another system. Are you having fun yet? Y plus z is equal to 5. And now I'm going to use this equation, y plus 5 is equal to z. All right, so if I do this, I have y and another y. They don't cancel because they're both positive. So what I have is 2y. Then I have a z. Then I have what's supposed to be a 5 right here. And on the other side of the equal sign, I have a positive z and a positive 5. So that's equal to positive z. Oh, okay, notice something. And a positive 5. Aha. All right. So what we're gonna do easier is the following. Notice that I can subtract a z. I can subtract z from the left. I should have changed colors. I meant to. I can subtract z from the left and z from the right. I can subtract 5 from the left and 5 from the right. So the only thing that I have, this cancels into a 0, this cancels into a 0, and so does the right side. Z minus z is 0, 5 minus 5 is 0, so the right side is 0. And on the left, I'm going to have only the 2y. So 2y is equal to 0. That means that when we divide by 2, y is equal to 0. So now that's good because we have x is equal to 3 and y is equal to 0. So we're going to plug in that into the second equation again, which reads 2x plus y, which is 0, plus z is equal to 11. All right, that's this equation right there. I already know that the 2 times x turns into a 6, because that's the same equation. 6 plus y, which is 0. This is 2 times 3, by the way, which is 6, because x is 3, plus 0, plus z is equal to 11. Let's take 6. And that will give me with just the z on the left, because that's 0. 11 minus 6 is 5. So c is 5. And my answer is the letter C as in cat for z. That's it. Okay, let's go because now it's taking a long time. That's why we leave the hard or longer questions. It's not that it's more difficult, it's just so many steps. Leave it for the end. You don't need a perfect score. You don't even need 2/3 of the score to pass. You only need a few points. I believe it's 14. Out of 40 questions, hello, you can do this if you study. Okay, so clear all drawings. But do your best and try to answer all questions correctly. That's why I'm showing you all the questions. Okay, do I have to go back to a smaller Zoom? Now, listen to my voice. I'm not sick. I've just been taping and retaping this thing because another student passed studying the videos for the CLT regular. So I decided to make this CLT-10 videos. So please take advantage of it. If you're here, that means you are. So thank you. Okay, 119. And then we just need one more. I want you to notice the following. Maybe you can see that it's not the square root of 35. It's not. What is written here is the function. We are F. We are bored and Zoom. So it says, where's my writing? That was supposed to be a parenthesis. Okay, it's going to be challenging. Hopefully I will still have a voice. Okay, let me try. I'm going to be using my finger instead of my pen. That may seem to work. So notice that it says the square root of 3 not helping, but that's the square root of 3 followed by a 5. So it's not the same. It's not the square root of 35 like that. It's not. It's not. Just look here and you will see what I'm saying. So we need to replace the function. So that means this is 2 are multiplying. That's tricky. I don't like when they try to be too smart to frustrate students. So I'm here to decode and help you. All right, so this is x times y, which we now need to substitute for the square root of 3 times 5. So what they're trying to say is that x is equal to the square root of 3 and y is equal to 5. Having that in mind, notice that this thing, that says x squared plus 5x plus 2, you can read it. I need to plug in this number for every x that you see here and 5 for every y that you see there. So rewriting, I'm going to say the square root of 3 to the power of 2 plus 5 times the square root of 3, which we can do like they did here. We don't have to put the symbol. That's just weird. I've never seen the radical in front of the coefficient. That's crazy. Anyway, I'm here to help you. So, plus 2, because that's just a 2. On the bottom is x times y, which is, again, this times this. And I'm going to write it the right way, which is 5 radical 3. And then we have 2y. So, plus 2 times y, which is 5. All right. So, let me go ahead and cancel what I can cancel. And we know that the radical cancels the 2, giving me only a 3 here, plus the square root of 3, plus 2, over, we know also that 2 times 5 is the same as 10. So we don't need to use 2 times 5. We now have 10. So we have the top correctly. We have that. We're going to write the 10 instead of 2 times 5. We have the plus sign on the bottom. And we have this thing on the bottom too, which we need to write on the new bottom. And this is a 5 radical 3 too. Because I see a 5 here, I'm going to write a 5 there. My bad is a plus. Okay. On the top, I can combine the 3 with the 2. Notice I have a 3 here. And plus 2 here gives me 5. So I'm going to write 5 radical 3. That's this one. Plus 5, which is the 3 times 2. And I have everything on the top. Now on the bottom, I have also 5 radical 3 plus 10. Let's divide everything by 10, right? So if I were to divide everything by 5, sorry, not by 10, by 5. Getting tired here at the end of a long day and a long week. So, divide by 5, divide by 5, divide by 5, divide by 5. And what am I going to get? The 5's cancel, leaving me the radical 3. The 5's cancel here. They don't cancel into a 0. Never say that. Because fractions, 5 divided by 5 is 1. It's not 0. A fraction is division. So we have that. We have the decimal, sorry, the fraction bar. And then this cancels into that. Radical 3. And 10 divided by 5 is positive 2. So that's the answer simplified, and that's 8. All right. One more to go. And it won't be, hopefully won't be as long as the other ones, but if you've gone this far, you might as well finish strong. I'm going to erase, so you need to pause if you need to. Clear all drawings do the thing, scroll down. To get to 120. Okay, don't have it, so I'm gonna have to go and zoom in. Or zoom out, I think it is. Doesn't matter. I have to change the size of the thing, basically. Okay, great. So now, key is that 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters. So if the radius is 4 meters, the radius, I need to multiply 4 times 100, right? That's the conversion here. 1 means 100. 1 meter means 100 centimeters. So 4 meters means 400 centimeters. And the height is 10 meters. So again, we need to add 2 zeros to 10. So the height is equal to 10 followed by 2 zeros, centimeters. Now that we have the conversion, we can do the formula. The formula is volume is equal to pi radius to the second power times the height. That's the formula for the volume of a cylinder, which is going to be, again, remember, linear centimeters area. Sorry about the board. Area is centimeters to the second power, and volume will be centimeters to the third power. So it all matches. Notice that my answers have pi at the end, pi g at the end. So I'm going to move pi at the end here by just using the community property to put pi at the end. So if I put a times pi, then I don't need it here anymore. So the volume is the radius squared times the height. All right. I know what my radius is, so the volume here is 400 squared times the height, which is 1,000 centimeters. We know that the volume is going to be centimeters cubed or what have you. That's okay. We don't need to worry about pi g or the centimeters because all my answers have pi g. This must be wrong because it's missing pi, but we'll see. So let's square 400. That means 400 times 400. That is 4 times 4 is 16, followed by 4 zeros. So when I have 16 followed by 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros, and then times 1,000, we have 3 zeros more. What do we have here? We have 160 million. And we need to multiply that. That's what happens. That's where the G came from. And that's what happened to the centimeters. Okay. This thing about the area being pi centimeters cubed, but then we're going to multiply it times that fraction times G over centimeters cubed. Then the centimeters cubed cancel, and all we have left is the pi. In case you go into physics, they do this a lot. It's annoying, but it's kind of like just canceling things. So you have the pi and the g. So my answer must be simply pi g when we turn from volume to density. It goes back to 2 grams. The density is in grams for g, no longer cubic centimeters. All right, so pi g. So I don't think this is correct. All I need to worry then is about what's in front of the pi g, which is, remember the other part, is 1.5 times 160 million. Okay, so what do I need to do? I need to multiply 16 times 1.5. 16.0 times 1.5. So 5 times 0 is 0. 5 times 6 is 30. 5 times 1 is 5. Plus 3 is 8, I believe. And then I have a decimal, sorry, a zero holder. And then we'll multiply 1 times the 160 that we had. I need to write 160. All right. So that's going to turn, if I add this, that's going to be 0, 0. 8 times 6 is 14. 1 over 1 plus 1 is 2. And my 2 decimal points is 24. So the 16 turns into a 24 because it's times 1.5 is going to be bigger. If you multiply 20 times 1.5, that's going to be 30, right? Because you have times 1 plus the half. So 20 plus half of 20, 10 is 30, for instance. So anyway, 16 turning to 24. We canceled those zeros, so we need to go back to the zeros that are here. So that's 240 million pi grams. But we knew that. We're not worried about the pi grams. They don't ask you to multiply this amount times 3.14, thank God. And once again, your answer is D. Thank you very much. I hope you all passed the math section of the CLT-10 called the quantitative reasoning. For you, this has been a pleasure truly to help students do something they couldn't do before without my help and the help of all the other staff and faculty and staff helping you, the test chairs, Dr. Hunter, and the other teachers and everybody else that participates and makes this possible for you. Also, remember that Palmetto Senior is paying for the CLT-10. That's the idea. If you're taking it during school, they're giving you the time to take it and the money that it costs. So make sure to thank everybody and their mother, including obviously your own parents. So I am finished and I am going to stop recording right now. See you in the next series of study videos. Mr. Serrano for you in room 1337.